Hey guys, today I'm going to show you just how powerful setting up and using scenes could be when you're using your NUX MG-30. So when you're using a multi-effects unit at a gig, the last thing you want to be doing is stumbling around to try and get the right sound for that particular part that you're playing within the song. It could sometimes be tricky, but using scenes with the MG-30 simplifies all that, and I'm going to show you just how powerful that functionality is. Alright guys, scenes are super easy to use and very, very flexible. They can actually supercharge your patches once you know how to use them. So I want to show you how to set that up very quickly here. So the first thing we have to do is understand how scenes work. Basically, scenes are an alternate snapshot of the effects being used within a certain patch. So for example, here we have patch number 7B engaged, and that is a mid-gain patch that sounds like this. And that particular patch has a reverb, a delay, there's an EQ engaged, IRs, an amp, a compressor, and an effects pedal engaged here. And we can see that here as well within the patches on the screen. That's all fine and dandy, but what if we want an alternate version of this patch? Do we have to create another patch? Well, that's the beauty of scenes. You don't have to create an additional patch. You can actually have 3 alternate scenes associated to each one of your patches. Now on the screen here, you'll see a little S1 illuminated here. That indicates scene 1, which is this current snapshot. But we also have scene 2 and 3 that we can use, and we can actually leverage even more different types of sounds. So let me show you how to do that. The first thing we have to do is tell the unit that we want to be able to use these scenes. And how do we do that? Well, we simply press the little button downwards towards us, and it'll pop up this menu. This menu will display the control surfaces, and there's 4 of them. Okay, so we have the wah here that can be used as a wah or an expression pedal. That's number 1. We have 2 and 3, which are here in the back if you want to use an external foot switch, which we don't currently have right now. And number 4 is this button right here, which is the control button. Now this button is currently being associated to the tap function. You can see it's indicated there, tap. So if I actually tap this button right now, it's actually controlling the tempo of the delay. The quicker I tap it or the slower I tap it, it'll blink in sync. All right. So that's fine and dandy if we want to use the tap functionality, but in this case, we don't want to do that. We want to use the scenes. So what we're going to do is we're going to take knob number 4 here that is associated to this parameter. We're going to turn it till we see scene being displayed there. Keep going. There it is. So now we're telling the unit that this control switch is actually going to be controlling our scenes. Once we have that set up, we hit the little global button to exit that menu. We're back to our patch. Nothing has changed. So we're on scene 1. It's the same as it was before. But let's say we want to create an alternate scene. We can press this down now, and it's going to scene number 2. And let's say in scene number 2, we don't want to have a reverb on, and we don't want to have the delay on. So we can easily just click that to turn them off. And now the patch sounds like this. Now it's a whole bunch drier, but that's okay if that's what we want. Then if we go to click the control switch one more time, we can go to scene number 3, in which case we might want to turn on the compressor, and we might want to remove the delay and keep the modulation on, which will give us this sound. So once we have all 3 scenes set, all we need to do to save them is hit the little save button twice. It'll overwrite what we had there, and now the scenes are engaged. It goes back to scene number 1, which was this. And if we hit the scene button again, It goes to our second setting and C number 3. And we can go back to the original. So now you've supercharged your patch. You have basically your original patch and 2 alternate versions of that patch set up so that you can actually leverage a lot more sounds and variations, especially when you're playing gigs. This could come in very handy because you just have to hit one button within the patch and you don't have to tap dance all over to get the sounds that you need. So now that you know how to use scenes, you can leverage them and supercharge your patches. It's super easy and should bring your playing to a new level.